Have you ever walked into a room feeling great, only to have one person completely drain your energy with their negativity? Maybe it's a coworker who's always gossiping, a friend who constantly complains, or even a family member who seems to enjoy drama. No matter what you do, they seem to pull you into their chaos. Sound familiar? Trust me, you're not alone. We've all met toxic people. People who challenge our peace of mind, test our patience, and sometimes even make us question our self-worth. But here's the good news. You don't need to fight fire with fire. Instead, we're going to explore 8 powerful and clever ways to deal with toxic people, using the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. Because remember, your peace is power. Drop this in the comments. I protect my peace. Let's flood the comments with that phrase to show we're serious about guarding our mental space. If you're into practical stoicism, wisdom that actually helps in real life, and leveling up your mindset, make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, Stoic Plus, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our weekly dose of inner strength. Tip number 1, control what you can, accept what you can't. All right, let's start with the foundation of all Stoic thinking and the first powerful way to deal with toxic people. Control what you can and accept what you can't. This idea comes straight from Epictetus, a former slave turned Stoic teacher. He said, "Some things are up to us and some things are not." Now listen closely, because this is a total game changer when it comes to handling toxic people. You see, we often waste so much energy trying to fix others, trying to convince them to change, or letting their bad attitude drag us down. But here's the hard truth. You can't control other people. You can't control their gossip. You can't control their bitterness. You can't control their need for drama. But what you can control is you, your reaction, your mindset, your peace. Let me give you a quick, real-life example. A friend of mine, let's call him Rohan, worked in an office with a coworker who constantly tried to bring him down. This guy would throw passive-aggressive comments in meetings, try to take credit for his work, and create unnecessary tension. At first, Rohan got angry. He'd go home venting. He even considered quitting. But then he discovered Stoicism and realized something powerful. He can't control how that guy behaves, but he can control how he responds. So instead of reacting emotionally, he started using calm silence. He focused on his own goals, documented everything, and kept showing up with excellence and self-control. Over time, guess what happened? That toxic coworker lost his power because Rohan stopped feeding it. Toxic people feed on your reaction. They want drama, they want chaos, but when you don't give it to them, they lose control. So the next time someone tries to push your buttons, pause, take a breath, and remember, is this within my control or not? If the answer is no, then don't let it disturb your peace. Now, I want you to really lock this in. Head to the comments right now and type this phrase, "I only control what's mine." Let's flood the comments with that line to show we're choosing clarity over chaos. When you type it out, you're not just commenting, you're making a commitment to yourself. Stay with me, because tip number 2 is all about setting boundaries like a wall, not a door. And trust me, you don't want to miss that. Tip number 2, set boundaries like a wall, not a door. All right, Stoic warriors, let's move on to the second way to deal with toxic people. And honestly, this one is a life skill we all need. Set boundaries like a wall, not a door. That's right, not a flimsy door that swings open whenever someone knocks. I'm talking about a solid wall with clear limits, strong foundations, and no guilt attached. You see, toxic people love to test your limits. They want to see how far they can push you, how much of your time they can take, how much drama they can dump on your plate. And if you don't have boundaries, they'll walk all over you like you're their personal emotional doormat. Now, Marcus Aurelius, emperor and Stoic philosopher, once wrote, You don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you. That's his gentle way of saying, you don't have to participate in the circus just because someone sends you an invite. Let me tell you a quick story. There's a woman I know, let's call her Jenny. She's kind, generous, always saying yes to people, even when it drains her. She had a friend who constantly called her at night to rant about their problems, every single night. And if Jenny didn't answer, that friend would guilt trip her. I guess you don't care about me anymore. Sound familiar? But Jenny eventually realized something powerful through Stoicism. Her time and energy are hers to protect. So she set a simple boundary. She told her friend, kindly but firmly, I care about you, but I need to take care of myself too. I can talk during the day, but I won't be available late at night anymore. That one boundary changed her life. Her friend didn't like it, but Jenny slept better, felt calmer, and reclaimed her peace. Toxic people don't need explanations. They need limits. And setting boundaries doesn't make you mean, it makes you strong. Think of boundaries as emotional self-respect. You're teaching others how to treat you, and guess what? People who respect you will honor your boundaries. People who don't were never healthy for you to begin with. So here's what I want you to do right now. Go to the comments and type this phrase. Boundaries are strength, not weakness, not rudeness, strength. Comment it to lock it into your mindset and let others know that you're part of this Stoic movement, choosing peace over people-pleasing. Tip number 3, don't mirror their chaos. Tip number 3 is one of the hardest to practice, but one of the most powerful if you get it right. And it's this, don't mirror their chaos. Because here's what toxic people are really good at. Pulling you into their storm. They're loud, angry, dramatic, reactive, and they want you to match that energy. But the moment you lose your calm, the moment you start yelling back, defending, arguing, proving yourself, you've already lost. You've stepped onto their battlefield, and now they control the game. Stoicism teaches us the greatest remedy for anger is delay. Seneca. That means don't react immediately. Pause, breathe. Let their storm pass while you remain still. You are not a reflection of their behavior. You are the master of your own. Let me paint a quick picture. A guy named Matt, calm, introverted, works in retail. One day, a customer comes in yelling, being rude over a return, slams stuff on the counter, starts insulting him in front of others. Now in that moment, Matt has two choices: yell back, defend himself, feed the fire, stay grounded, let the customer speak, respond firmly but calmly. And you know what he did? He chose silence first, then responded with, I hear your frustration. I'll do what I can to help, within policy. And just like that, the storm fizzled out. Why? Because you can't fight calm with chaos. When you don't mirror someone's madness, they're forced to sit in it alone. People who are out of control want company. But when you stay in control of yourself, you protect your power. You don't have to shrink. You don't have to snap. You just have to stay centered. Remember, their behavior is a reflection of them. Your response is a reflection of you. So let's make this stick. Drop this phrase in the comments right now. I don't mirror chaos. Type it out, own it, and let's fill the comments with calm strength. This community is about emotional control, not emotional reaction. If this is helping you shift your mindset, hit that like button and make sure to subscribe to Stoic Plus so we can keep building this Stoic mindset together, one principle at a time. Tip number 4, observe, don't absorb. All right, here's the 4th Stoic strategy to deal with toxic people. And this one right here is something most of us forget to do in real time. It's simple but powerful. Observe, don't absorb. You see, toxic people don't always scream or fight. Sometimes they're subtle, passive-aggressive, manipulative, sarcastic. They throw little jabs, and without even realizing it, you start absorbing their negativity like a sponge. Their stress becomes your stress. Their energy becomes your energy. But here's the Stoic truth. You are not responsible for other people's emotions. You're only responsible for your reaction to them. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." So when someone's energy is heavy, don't take it personally, just observe it, like a scientist watching a storm. Don't get swept away in it. I'll give you a personal example. I had a client, let's call him Johnny, who worked with a manager who was constantly anxious and short-tempered. Every small issue felt like a crisis to this manager. Instead of giving feedback calmly, he'd sigh loudly, roll his eyes, and make people feel small. At first, Johnny started absorbing it. He found himself getting stressed before even walking into work. His self-esteem was dropping. But then, he made a mindset shift. Instead of reacting emotionally, he started watching his manager like a character in a movie. He'd say to himself, "Interesting. This person is clearly overwhelmed, but it's not mine to carry." The result? Less stress, more clarity, and a lot more peace, because the behavior didn't change, but his mindset did. The next time someone throws negativity your way, don't take it into your system. Let it hit your outer wall and bounce off. You are not their emotional trash can. Observe their behavior like you're wearing a raincoat in a storm. The rain might fall, but it doesn't soak you. If that hits home for you, type this in the comments. I observe, I don't absorb. Seriously, pause for a second and write it. That one sentence can shift your whole energy when you're dealing with difficult people. Let's fill the comments with strength and self-awareness. Tip number 5, minimize contact, maximize peace. Let's be real, sometimes the best way to deal with toxic people is to simply deal with them less. That's tip number 5, minimize contact, maximize peace. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but what if it's a coworker? What if it's a family member? I can't just cut them off. And you're right. Sometimes you can't walk away entirely. But here's the Stoic truth. You don't have to eliminate someone to create space. You just have to limit how much of your mental, emotional, and physical energy you allow them to drain. Marcus Aurelius put it perfectly. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Meaning, stop trying to fix, argue with, or educate toxic people. Be the example. And quietly step back. Because trying to manage someone else's dysfunction is not your job. Managing your peace is. Let me tell you about Julie. She had a cousin who was constantly negative. Every phone call turned into a rant. If Julie shared good news, her cousin would downplay it. If Julie had a problem, the cousin would make it worse. It was draining. But here's what Julie did. Without making a dramatic scene, she just reduced contact, shorter replies, delayed responses, kept things surface level, and she stopped sharing personal info with someone who didn't know how to honor it. And guess what? She didn't lose anything except anxiety, tension, and emotional weight. That's the art of strategic distance. Not everyone deserves full access to you. You can love people from a distance. You can be respectful and still protect your peace. And you don't need to explain it to anyone. Because distance is not disrespect, it's self-respect. Let's anchor this into your mindset. Head to the comments right now and type, "Distance creates peace." Drop that below and let the world know. You're done handing out VIP passes to people who keep showing up with bad energy. If this principle gave you some clarity, hit that like button. It helps the Stoic Plus community grow. And make sure you subscribe for more calm, wise, and practical Stoic tools to help you live above the chaos, not in it. Tip number 6, use silence as a weapon. All right, here's tip number 6, a weapon that most people overlook in the war against toxic energy. But the Stoics knew it was one of the most powerful tools you'll ever have. And that is, use silence as a weapon. Now, I'm not talking about the silent treatment or being cold to prove a point. I'm talking about intentional silence, Stoic silence. The kind of silence that disarms conflict, shuts down manipulation, and protects your inner peace. Seneca said, "Speech is silver, but silence is golden." In other words, you don't always have to react. You don't always need the last word. Silence isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Because when you stop giving toxic people the attention they crave, they start losing power. Let me give you a real-life story. A guy named Luke worked with a supervisor who constantly tried to provoke him. Snide remarks in front of others, sarcastic jokes, subtle jabs designed to get a rise out of him. At first, Luke defended himself, tried to explain, argued back, but the more he engaged, the worse it got. Then one day, he decided to try something different. Silence. No eye rolls, no emotional reaction, just calm, centered, non-response. And you know what happened? His supervisor got bored. The attacks lost momentum, because when you stop fueling the fire, it eventually dies out. Luke didn't win by fighting, he won by not fighting. That's Stoic mastery. Silence isn't passive, it's calculated. It says, "I'm not here to play your game. I've got peace to protect." And sometimes, the strongest statement you can make is to say nothing at all. All right, let's stamp this one into your mindset. Go to the comments and type this phrase, "My silence is my strength." Let that be your inner armor. When others bring chaos, you bring calm. Let's fill the comments with that energy, one Stoic warrior at a time. Tip number 7, strengthen your inner fortress. Tip number 7 is something that separates the emotionally fragile from the truly unshakable. And in Stoicism, this is everything. It's the idea that you must strengthen your inner fortress. Let me ask you, when life throws chaos your way, when toxic people come at you with drama, gossip, anger, do you react emotionally, or do you stand firm like a mountain? Because here's what the Stoics believed. The world is unpredictable. People will be rude, events will be unfair. But if your inner world is weak, you'll get knocked over like a leaf in the wind. You don't need to control the storm, you just need to build stronger walls within. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." That means the real battle isn't out there, it's in here. Peace doesn't come from avoiding toxic people. It comes from building such a strong inner core that nothing they do can shake you. I want to share a story about a man named Matthew. Matthew used to get deeply affected by his toxic boss. Every critical comment would ruin his day. He'd go home, overthink, stress out, and spiral. Then one day, Matthew had a breakthrough. Why am I giving this man so much control over my inner peace? So Matthew started a new daily discipline. Every morning before work, he'd journal for 5 minutes. He'd write down how he wanted to respond to negativity. He started meditating, just 10 minutes a day. And whenever his boss lashed out, Matthew repeated to himself, "This is not mine to carry." Over time, Matthew stopped reacting. His boss didn't change, but he did, because he built an inner fortress that no one could breach. You don't build emotional strength in the moment of the battle. You build it beforehand, quietly, daily, with reflection, with boundaries, with rituals that protect your spirit. Toxic people thrive when you're drained, but when your inner world is full, they have nothing to feed on. If you're ready to start building that stoic strength within, drop this in the comments. My peace is protected from within. Type it out and let that be your daily intention, because you're not just watching stoic content, you're becoming a stoic in action. Tip number 8, lead by example, not emotion. All right, we've reached our final stoic strategy to deal with toxic people. And this one is the ultimate test of character. It's about choosing discipline over drama, clarity over chaos, and self-respect over reaction. Tip number 8 is lead by example, not emotion. You see, toxic people are fueled by emotional reactions. They thrive when you snap, over-explain, argue, or get pulled into their emotional web. But when you respond with calm action, you take back control. You become the example of strength and self-mastery that they can't shake. Marcus Aurelius, who literally led an empire surrounded by betrayal, war, and politics, once wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." That means don't sink to their level, rise above it. Let your behavior be your boundary. Let your peace speak louder than your words. Let me share a real story that stuck with me. There was a teacher, let's call her Mary, who worked at a school where one of her colleagues constantly tried to compete with her, spread rumors, took credit for her ideas, gossiped behind her back. Everyone expected Mary to finally break, to confront her, to explode, but she didn't. Instead, she just kept doing the work. Calm, focused, professional, never lowered her standards, never engaged in gossip. And over time, her actions became so consistent and strong that the entire staff started to see the truth. The other teacher was exposed, not by confrontation, but by contrast. Because when you lead by example, you don't need to defend yourself. Your results do it for you. Toxic people want you to play their game. But Stoics, we don't play, we lead. We lead by showing up with character when others show up with chaos. We stay grounded while others lose control. We don't fight in the mud. We rise like mountains above it. The highest form of strength is quiet consistency. So if you're ready to stop reacting and start leading by example, drop this in the comments right now. I lead with calm, not chaos. Say it out loud, type it below. Let's flood the comments with that energy, because you're not just learning Stoicism, you're living it. All right, my friends, we've walked through 8 powerful, time-tested Stoic strategies to deal with toxic people. But before we end, I want to leave you with something even more valuable than tactics. I want to leave you with perspective. Because at the heart of Stoic philosophy, it's not just about avoiding drama. It's about becoming so deeply grounded, so rooted in self-mastery, that the noise of the world can't shake your inner peace. You learn to control what you can and let go of what you can't. You learn to set boundaries like walls, not swinging doors. You stopped mirroring chaos and chose stillness instead. You practiced how to observe, not absorb others' negativity. You created space to minimize contact and maximize peace. You discovered the power of silence as a weapon of wisdom. You started to strengthen your inner fortress, daily and quietly. And most importantly, you committed to leading by example, not emotion. Toxic people don't need fixing. They need distance, boundaries, and silence. But more than that, they need your indifference. Because when you learn to protect your peace like it's sacred and stop responding from impulse, you win without fighting. That's the Stoic way. And it's not just a strategy. It's a lifestyle. So the question now isn't, how do I avoid toxic people? The real question is, how do I become so grounded that no one can pull me out of alignment? That's the real work. That's Stoicism. And you're already on the path. If you've made it this far, type this in the comments right now. I protect my peace the Stoic way. Not just for me, but for you. Let it be a promise to yourself. And if this video helped you even just 1%, please take a second to like this video so it reaches someone else who might need it. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Stoic Plus, where we turn ancient philosophy into modern tools for clarity, strength, and self-control. Because here, it's not about being perfect. It's about being present, calm, and grounded in a world that constantly tries to pull you away from yourself. Remember, the world is loud. Be still. People are reactive. Be intentional. Life is chaotic. Be the calm. I'm grateful you spent this time with me. Until next time, live wisely, live freely, live the Stoic way.